Good morning. This is the Divvy community meeting on Tuesday, January 31st, 2017, 10:09 a.m. And we have a quorum, the managers, and we start with the status reports. Report number one is the standard considerate and our chain. There's a proposal in our chain to give participants initial coins. Otherwise, not much is happening. There's still a great deal of updates that need to be done in terms of curating and organizing the project. It was last week. And I'm considering adding a co-cloud dot considerate for co-cloud projects. So that would be a third considerate that would have Divvy projects associated with it. Second report.
Ken, could you mute yourself, please? I have a feeling the echoes are coming from you, although they could be coming from Jim.
Okay. Ourchain.cc status is still the same. I'm considering setting up a suggesting that a sandstorm be set up for our chain, and hope perhaps we can get around to doing a proposal on that. But it would be helpful if we do that. Okay, unfortunately, I guess Paul isn't able to make these meetings. Paul and I did not get together. Okay, we did communicate over the week, and he seemed to be making progress. But I don't know exactly where we are with that. I don't know if you talked to him, Bob, or anyone. No, we have any other information. But the main things that have come up here are the decentralized social networking and movement in MoveIn, and the Jabber ID becomes important, from a social networking perspective in terms of supporting XMPP data sources and privacy in all the channels that are XMPP compatible. So that becomes an integration issue as we move to distributed social networkings for our chain and Divvy and co-cloud. The Sandstorm OpenID connection, we're looking to use some kind of OpenID to support co-cloud Sandstorm access, which would be a good thing for us as well. Sovereign.org was the client bill, which is a lot of the people that I've worked with on identity and people that are active in the identity space, from the Web of Trust community and spilling over into the standards groups. The technology that they've developed there is a big part of what we want to do for proven ID. They've solved the problems that we can use the code in terms of credentials management and exposing credentials and such, and corroborating credentials. It seems like it's still in a fairly early stage, but they do have working stuff that can be used, that we can use in fairly short order. It will take some experimentation, and certainly if we're going that way with the product directions of proven ID and unique identities, this is certainly a tool that would be incorporated into that. Yeah, and I really have to coordinate with Paul on the rest of this stuff here. So we can go to the fourth report. There's nothing else on bring your own identity. We still have an email problem, which I haven't had a chance to work on, from Divvy email addresses at divvydow.org. They are submitted to Google, but are not returned or delivered. Killian is missing today, so we can presume the Inspiral status connection is the same. Now, the news here is that Alana has left Inspiral, who is one of the main visionaries. You haven't watched any of her videos, you should watch them. She was a real mover and shaker in Inspiral, and she's a participant in the Internet of Ownership group and sort of an advisor to Code Cloud. So I'm trying to engage. I have the intention of engaging her to a greater extent. Certainly Code Cloud wants to engage her. I don't know what her situation is, whether she needs money, or to what degree she needs money and can participate, but she would be a tremendous asset if we can encourage her. And I think maybe we should invite Alana to a Divvy meeting.
Do we have any biographical information on her, or she in LinkedIn? Do we know?
I don't have anything handy here. We can, I guess, put in here, get bio info. And we have Brian Huxley on board. Greetings.
You want to introduce Brian?
I don't know if he can speak. Did you get your microphone worked out, Brian? Can you introduce Brian Plain Eater?
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Brian is somebody I work with. He's got 20 years of DevOps experience, and he really knows his stuff. He's very easy to work with. And Jim, you know, you've worked with him before, so he can help with a lot of the stuff, including the email problem you just mentioned, and any kind of networking stuff, deployment, all kinds of deployment issues.
Awesome. Have you joined the Sandstorm yet, Brian? I don't know. I think that's a priority. Since we're moving off Slack into Sandstorm, I can put the link in the chat here if you don't have it handy.
I think I found it from the other Slack.
Oh, good. I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it should be the Divvy apps collection. Okay, right now, let me just show this briefly here. We only have two things. We have a Divvy task board, okay, and this is where we need to where we can put our tasks and have the discussions on them and assign them to people and put labels on them and start dates, end dates, all that stuff. So Bob, you might want to evaluate this this tool. It's being used fairly effectively, and I guess you're familiar with similar tools. And the only other thing we have is the Divvy DAO. Now, I also put a link in here to the CoCloud apps. I'm not sure if that's kosher. It looks like I can't click on it. I guess it doesn't give me permission. Oh, it was slow. Okay, we can see under the CoCloud apps here, we have a lot more applications. We have a we use it for the calendar management. So, wonder if I have too many things open on my machine. Oh, okay, I have an alert. I had it clear. So it does integrate with other calendars, and we should. This is so we on the and from the app section, there's hundreds of apps like WordPress and other things that you can install with a button. But if I look up calendar, maybe I don't have it installed. I can install the app from basically the App Store. And look up calendar apps. Okay. I hit the install button. I create a new calendar. And I'll call it the Divvy calendar. And then I go to the Divvy app section, and I add a grain here, and I add the Divvy calendar. And I'm going to give everybody full access to the calendar. The default is when you create an app is nobody has any permissions to it unless you share it somehow. And in this case, I'm sharing. The main place we share the Divvy apps is in the Divvy apps collection. And if we want to share access to that, we hit share access. We get shareable links and can edit, and then we can create a shareable link for that, or we can invite people by email to it. Nice thing about this is that on using the Oasis host here, all of the things are together. You have a single sign-on for all your apps, and the Code Cloud and the Divvy and the ArtChain and any others that I'm in here are in one place. It integrates it, and it can be very easy. It can be very easy to package an app to be added to the list here. We can upload our own apps, and this is a way we can deploy things that somebody can install with a click of a button. Very powerful, and of course the Rocket Chat is very much like Slack. Okay, we can look at the Sandstorm menus or not. We have full administration and other permissions here. We look at permissions here. We have very fine-grained permissions and roles we can define for people. Right now, things have been left pretty permissive. We can see who's online. We can do direct messaging. We can look at all the members, whatever. We can also share apps in private channels or private messages or in public channels. Like I shared the Code Cloud operating agreement with people in Divvy who are perhaps not, who aren't in the Code Cloud group now. Okay, so this is what Sandstorm is, and sort of an aside. It's it's an integration environment in the sense that you have a security model and a user, a single sign-on model, and it's a application management environment for people that don't. So people don't have to be system administrators in order to install applications like WordPress or Rocket Chat or it has spreadsheets and EtherCalc is a spreadsheet that can be used in place of Google Sheets, many applications. And EtherPad is a kind of a cool collaborative environment. We look at EtherPad. Look in cold cloud apps. Okay. Well, we can look at this example. Probably a bad example. Oh, this is our this is a WordPress site. Which can be accessed outside of I guess a real place to look at this is in the in the Divvy Rocket Chat. We look at this co-cloud operating agreement. That's an example of an EtherCalc, which we can see that people have put comments in. We can see that we can hit this little clock over here, and we can review the it looks like there's only one author right now. It's all the same color, but each author would have a different color here, and then we can actually replay. We can replay the history of the document. It's just going. I think I got too many tabs open on my machine. But in any case, you can when you go through the history, you can see people typing in the whole history of the document. You can go to different places in the timeline and review what changes. See what people changing. What changes people were making. It's like a movie. And I'm getting sort of hung up here. Okay, so let's see, where are we? My machine is frozen. What did I do? Let me just reload this baby. I wonder why I'm stuck. I think I came back. Okay, let's see if this works. So Brian, let's get. Why don't we set a time when we can look into a couple of the issues, maybe.
Sure.
I don't know when is a good time for you.
Yeah, I apologize for my availability this morning. Probably around this time or 30 minutes in the future I'm fairly available each day.
Okay, well, uh, let's see. Bob and I, we're going to get together a little later today also.
Any your day this week or over the weekend?
Yeah, well, I sort of like to get started as soon as possible. So you can pick a time, or we can. I don't know, Bob, if you're free later on. What you want to postpone our meeting after this meeting, or?
Well, I don't know if Brian, assuming that this meeting is going to wrap up 11 o'clock-ish, is that a reasonable assumption?
I think so.
Okay. If I can get you, I don't think I need you for more than 15 minutes to a half an hour. So if 11:30 works for Brian, you can get us both in before lunch.
Does that work?
So 11:30, you're talking East Coast time?
Yeah.
That's Eastern, yeah.
That doesn't work for me today because it's pushing into my normal day job. I can do earlier than that, or that's tricky. Is there a way we can do earlier than that? Maybe tomorrow.
Would half hour earlier today work for you, Brian?
Yeah, that should be fine for tomorrow.
For tomorrow. What about today? No?
Yeah, I really can't. I'm sorry. I just have a bunch of other things already piled up. I didn't know about this.
Okay, so you're screwed for today anyway.
Yeah.
From the sounds of it. Okay. So Jim, you and I can meet after this meeting today, and then you and Brian tomorrow, I guess.
All right. Oh, awesome. Okay, agenda items here. The first thing was onboarding the CoCloud project as a Divvy project. We have we have needs to be put in considerate, and I guess needs a proposal. In the meantime, it's going on. I guess we're not allocating any tokens to it yet. There's a tremendous amount of overlap. Essentially, the cooperative is developing community-based software. It may be that we need to we will need to join the cooperative to effectively participate in it, which might be something like $5 a month dues for being part of the cooperative. Their emphasis is on cooperatively developing community-based software. There's nearly 100% overlap with what we need for Divvy and our chain in terms of community support, governance, decision support, tools for collaboration. What I'm doing now is I'm looking to get some help to install Sandstorm. There's currently a Lumio proposal on that. I guess it isn't finalized until 3 days, but it looks like running a Sandstorm instance is going to be in my future here. I established a co-cloud team on DigitalOcean, and I added people from Divvy that are in the admin channel on Rocket Chat, Paul and Rao, and the freetrust.net machine is I couldn't move it out of my personal account, so what I did was I converted my personal account on DigitalOcean to the co-cloud team account, and that moved in the freetrust.net machine so that we can get system management help on that machine. Okay, and we went over any issues on co-cloud? Agenda item 2, Sandstorm for Divvy. Okay, I put the invite link here. We already saw that. And here's some, there's the basic link on co-cloud, which should go up here. And it's important that we migrate off Slack, as we said before. Okay, the import failed. And I decided to start clean. To leave the stuff in Slack that's in Slack, we don't use it, we won't lose it. We haven't quite hit the limit yet on it. If it's continued to be used, it will lose history. But thinking that we can just keep the old Slack as for historical purposes, group memory, we can find things in there easily from the early days if we want.
Can I suggest you figure out a way to archive it, even if it's just in like Google Doc form or somebody else's doc form?
Yes, I did.
Just so that if that history does get lost, it's not lost.
I do have an archive. In fact, I tried to import it into Rocket Chat, and I had issues, and it may be because of the Sandstorm integration. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm not the only one that has had issues importing Rocket Chat.
Yeah, but at the very least, copy and paste it into some sort of doc someplace that you can, before it falls off the front end or the back end.
Right. Well, the backup file that I have can be loaded into a Slack, basically, if we need it. There's a lot of channels, and everything is in the backup file, except for private groups and direct messages. Okay. Um, okay, for the sandstorm, for work, I mean, we want to have an open ID associated with the sandstorm. The way it comes out of the box is it has its own identity. Um, there's other features that support Sandstorm for Work that support OpenID and other ID providers. There may be an issue there with whether or not the Sandstorm for Work features are in the open source libraries. I haven't checked that out. But in any case, for CoCloud and for Divvy and for Proven ID, we want we want to use an OpenID provider for access. And I guess for some purposes, we want in the bring your own identity, we want people to have the freedom to use the OpenID of their choice rather than enforcing that they always use our OpenID. But they can use another OpenID to log in, but they will still have the aggregated identity that we provide. They'll still have a proven ID or whatever, free trust ID. Any issues on anything on Elsa and Sandstorm for Divvy? Agenda item 3. Anything you want to report on MaxForce, Kendall?
Well, just that we continue to confirm that we understand things in the same manner. I mean, I'm continue to proceed with the memorandum of understanding, and we're also, as you're well aware, we're working on some questions and things with them. So we're still working to position both sides as to ultimately what the working relationship is going to be. All right, and something that could be memorialized in agreements for deliverables and that sort of thing. So I think that's about it for now.
I'll be working with Bob after the
Right.
meeting.
I would add that Ken is kind of focusing at the moment on the broader arrangement with MaxForce and the long-term, I would say. And in the meantime, I am focusing on, as you kind of note here in the action item, I'm focusing on a project plan. It's essentially, though, for benchmark 1.
Right.
We're starting small, so we're the actual project plan that we're working on is just to deliver benchmark 1. And as it says here, it's actually a proposal. It's not even going to be a full-blown project plan. It's the pre-plan that they can then use to go out and see about funding. And once they have an investor on the hook, then the intention is for the investor to actually pay for the full design as part of the second phase project plan, shall we say. And this is, again, still all for benchmark one. And benchmark one is primarily just registration. And well, it's registration with rewards. I would also add that I think most of our problems are going to come around the shape of rewards. Just with reading all the stuff that's going back and forth. They have ideas for not just a cryptocurrency, but for all sorts of retail packages and in-kind services and all these kind of wonderful things that are probably going to be a little difficult technically to put in a wallet and financially to manage as far as tax law is concerned. But I'm not worried about I'm not going to dig too deeply into that just yet.
Yeah, it's not in benchmark. It's not in benchmark.
No, benchmark one, we're going to deal with the basic as far as compensation or rewards. We're going to deal with a simple cryptocurrency wallet.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah,
and we can add the other bells and whistles later if they prove to be feasible and they really want them.
Yeah, and pegging assets to the blockchain is not rocket science, so we'll be able to handle it when the time comes.
No, but it's from their standpoint. It's all the tracking that's going to be introduced. I mean, they don't have. I gather that they don't have an appetite for becoming a financial management service, but some of their ideas for rewards and compensation are either going to require that they become a financial management service, or that they trim their ideas down. And that's possible. I mean, if we can trim their ideas down, if they end up with a tradable cryptocurrency, then people can do whatever the hell they want with it.
Right.
So. Right. But again, those are negotiations that are going to have to happen ongoing and separate from this actual project plan. Jim, you and I will be meeting on some of the very technical aspects of that, of what we would give them in benchmark one, so that I can finish putting together this proposal. I have the proposals outlined, but I don't have, I still need some real meat. Outlines are wonderful, but if they don't have timelines and budgets, then they're not useful. So,
All right.
But we're working on it.
Okay. Then we just had the. I guess this should have been a report. We still have the. I guess the issues of fulfilling the roles in Divvy. What I noticed when I logged into our WordPress is that there's been a lot of comments that haven't been approved yet and replied to. I was wondering if anybody had time to take that on.
Well, this relates to the blog that's accessible on the website.
Yeah.
So maybe Plant Eater. That was maybe in the scope of some of the things that you'll be looking at with regard to the website.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Very good.
Yeah, I mean, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off here, trying to keep up with everything, and I just couldn't handle dealing with the comments in the blog at the time when I discovered them, and apparently it hasn't been. Nobody's looked at it in quite a while. And there's maybe some opportunities for us there with some of the people that responded to the blog that we haven't been responsive to, and they may have lost interest. I don't know. But
Well, it's got to be somebody, whoever is going to write it on a regular basis, has to be someone with a kind of a passion for all things Divvy.
Well,
Right?
yeah. You mean whoever's going to respond to comments and accept or reject comments, or write blog articles? That's something else.
Well, I mean, both.
Yeah.
It would seem like that same person, I mean, somebody gets the passion and picks up the ball and I mean, blogs are opinion pieces, so that's fine. Everyone does, the comments are what tease out the kind of the differences of opinion, right?
Yeah.
So it almost doesn't, as long as whoever's writing it isn't, so totally off in some other world, it almost doesn't matter.
I did submit this on the blog just so I would have the diagram on the web somewhere. But this was basically a global theory of change, which was basically taken from the World Hunger Organization. The Hunger Project. Okay, and basically what it shows is that in order to have global change, okay, you sort of have to have all of these layers of cooperation, and it starts at the bottom with the Divvy tools and such and the things that we've developed so far, and then from the bottom up, from the grassroots, we apply them in our community and communities up the ladder. I thought this was a powerful diagram on how, rather than everybody working in isolation and not making any change cooperatively or together, how you can picture a viable global change structure.
So where do you insert Divvy in this diagram?
Well, basically, Divvy supports the three things at the bottom here: mobilizing community, empowering people, creating agency, and partnering. And I see Divvy principles.
Okay, all right. I see it. Well, this is very interesting.
This sort of grew out of a co-cloud meeting where they were saying, that what people really wanted to do was improve the world. That's what they wanted to do. And, it's like, how do you do that? And sort of like they've done a lot of effort here to come up with a model for that. And, I think it needs to be changed probably. And, I was, on my long list of things to do, I was going to Divvyize this whole thing. Or try to do.
And who created this? This
is the Hunger Project.
The Hunger Project. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so so I put that on our blog. You can see in the co-cloud status here, a lot of people are in there. The only one that's identified is HJ is in there. HJ has been active in documents all over the place, but we don't see him at these meetings, and that's a a question as to what his role is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'll try to have a meeting with him or something to straighten that out.
well, if you set that up, invite me, okay?
All right. Now, why is what happened to my agenda here? And Killian's not here.
I am here.
Oh, hi, Killian.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. I guess this was an item from last week. Is there anything probably should have been moved to reports? Anything you want to do on this? This was a development and collaboration platform here that we might want to consider. Now, what we've been looking at with the CoCloud is incorporating into Sandstorm development IDE based on Cloud9 and EtherCamp. Very, very useful and powerful feature for developers. The Cloud9 provides a web-based development environment, collaborative, where people can collaboratively work on code together. EtherCamp has added to that full support for Ethereum and a sandbox that runs contracts off any blockchain for testing and development. The idea being, if you're running Sandstorm on your local machine like I am, and I could add a Cloud9 grain app to my Sandstorm, I could give access to people who could collaborate with me on developing on my own machine, as well as use it as my own development environment independently. So this is sort of very much like the concept, but this is something that can be community based. It's something that we can run ourselves. It's open source code. We don't have to have an intermediary or whatever. So this is what the current roadmap is. I don't know how that interfaces with or relates to the Doki project. I don't know if you have any thoughts, Jillian. All right. So we hit the 2-hour mark. Does anybody have anything for open forum? Okay, well, thank you for participating. Let me end the recording now.